Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're all good and well. So I'm pleased today for this latest episode of the Shoegaze to be joined by a very special guest. We've got Bartosz Niedźwiecki, who is joining me today to talk about the latest EP from his band, Waterville, and the EP is called Isle of Blue. And it came out in about November of last year. And so we're going to be talking about that in particular today. But first of all, thank you very much, Bartosz, for joining me today. Bartosz is the
Hello, and thanks for
drummer.
having me.
Yeah, Bartosz is the drummer and producer. So yeah, so how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Yeah, it's I really like. I was saying before we went live, I really like your background, which is much nicer than my kitchen.
Thanks. Yes, I told you that I forgot that I said it, so it's there. I like it too.
Yeah, I'm happy for you to have that. It's kind of peaceful. It's relaxing, you know. Rather like the music of your Isle of Blue EP.
Nice to hear that.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind the Isle of Blue EP. You know, is the Isle of Blue a place? Does that represent something?
Oh, that's a nice question. I think it's always kind of hard to invent a title for an EP or an album. You have to put something. So simply, I think it was me who invented this title, so it just came to my mind.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
not sure if it represents anything, just maybe Isle, because it's Waterville, and I'm somehow connected to water in general. I like the sea, I like the ocean, so maybe it's this.
Yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, I mean, I think it fits obviously the music and style of the music. You sort of get a sense of peace and tranquility somewhat from that image, as well of maybe an isle in the sea or something. Okay, so as the producer of this piece of work, were you happy with the end products that you got from when you finished the EP? Were you happy with how it came out, and were there any challenges along the way?
Mostly I would say that I am happy. It was very challenging, we do everything ourselves. So we produce it ourselves with our own gear, with some rooms that we rent, because it's never a proper studio, like rehearsal rooms or home even. And I think recording drums was the most challenging. But other than that, I record and I produce for many years, so it was like a common thing for me.
Yeah, because I was going to say that you mentioned there that you didn't have a proper studio, but it does sound like a properly produced record. So, not being an expert on production myself, but it feels like, therefore, that experience of yours has come through on the EP out, because it does sound really good.
Thanks. That really, means a lot to me, because, I'm trying my best. As I say, I'm doing it for many years. I'm self-taught, so yes, it's nice to hear that someone can have this opinion, this impression that it was recorded in a studio. Because nowadays, if you know your stuff, almost you can turn your room, and almost any room you can turn into a studio, in my opinion. That's what I'm trying to do usually.
Yeah. And you mentioned the drums were maybe the most challenging part of that. Is that for any particular reason,
or? Maybe because we don't own too much stuff, we don't know our own mics, we don't have a proper drum kit. We always have to rent or put it together from different pieces, different parts. So yeah, because of that, mostly, I would say. And because as I said, because we don't have a proper studio, we usually go to a rehearsal room, which is a commercial space for us, and the time is very limited, because when you work on other instruments at home or at some private spaces, it's easier because you can spend as much time as you want. but with drums we were always limited, and it usually looked like that we went to this rehearsal space and set up the drums, set up the mics, and then record. And I did it mostly myself. Sometimes Marcin, the guitar player, helped me with the setting up. And after you set up the drums, you are usually already exhausted, and then you have to record.
I can imagine that.
And usually we spent there like until 1 a.m. 2 a.m. and went back home, and next day you look at it and you think it came out okay or not. So then if it came out not okay, then you repeat it after a few weeks when you have time, because we don't I might say that we do music on the daily basis, but on the other hand, it's like we have our job, studies, so you have to find your space in your schedule to do that.
Yeah, I can imagine that if you're working, say you have a full-time job or something to balance against your creative side or whatever it is, a bit of a challenge. So I'm just going to share my screen just so people can see that maybe watch the video, can see the album cover, so they can recognize it when they maybe go search for it. So let's share this. So here you go. Hopefully that's come up. So yeah, it's I think it brings out the sort of the woman there lying down. So it brings the sort of as I was listening to the album, I'm someone that likes to look at the artwork when I'm listening to an album as well. I mean, I listen to a lot of I'm quite known for listening to a lot of metal and that sort of thing, so I always love to sort of digest the artwork. And it's nice artwork there on the front cover. So do you have a favorite song from Isle of Blue?
I'm not sure if I have a favorite song. I like all of them. I can tell you that last two pieces are for me somehow different. I think not only for me, like War and I forgot the name of the last song.
Under the Water. I've got them in front of me there as well.
Sorry, what is it?
Is it Under the Water, the last track?
Under the Water, yeah, sure, obviously. So War and Underwater came from maybe a quite different background from the other ones. And I like those two pieces a lot, I would say. But I like Hazy also. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the opening song. I'm sort of was trying to work out what my favorite song from the album was earlier, and I think I particularly like Wait and See.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think it's a good exposition of your vocalist and her voice, that song. And I very much enjoyed that one. I mean, I like all the songs a lot as well. So just to stop sharing the screen now. So yeah, I mean that song in particular and the opening song, I like. I mean, like I say, I like Breathing a lot as well. And I think it's a very enjoyable. I've been listening to it on the train on my way to and from work this week, and really liking the soundscapes that it brings. And so just to ask about your vocals. So again, I apologize if pronunciation's wrong. I've been trying to work out what it is. Is it Hyacinta? Hyacinta. And I like that she has a sort of natural kind of lilt in her singing, doesn't she?
Yes, she has.
Yeah. So I mean, are you finding that having a voice like that helps with the? I mean, I think so I don't know who writes the songs, or I think it's a mixture of you, isn't it, in the band?
Yes, exactly.
So how it must be quite an inspiration to have a unique voice like that, to sort of, and does that help with the writing process, having something like that at your kind of disposal?
Again, it's hard to tell. I would say it helps, but I must say that at the very beginning, when I met Hyacinta for the first time, I was really hesitating if to start a band with her, because I really enjoyed her vocal and I really liked it, and I heard her singing, and I believe that it doesn't fit anything I do at the very beginning. because I do a lot of things musically, not just this kind of dream pop shoegaze
Okay.
stuff. And so after maybe we arranged a lot of like jamming sessions with her, and at the beginning we just tried different things like covers and like even some pop songs, and I was just trying her, what she could actually do, because at the beginning she wasn't really into that kind of music. And now when you ask me, after I think we exist like maybe 4 years now, I don't remember, around 3 years maybe, it's very natural for us, to work with her, suddenly it became natural, her voice in this kind of music for me. But at the beginning it wasn't like that, but I would say it helps. Yes, she's very interesting, really, like kind of unique, even when you look at the voices in Poland. I think she's quite unique.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I can think of too many singers. I mean, one singer that I did think of a bit, because I think I might have seen it on one of the band's Bandcamp pages. Was that Dolores O'Riordan of Cranberries? There's slight
We heard that
bit of that
comparison,
sort of, but
we heard that comparison. It was at first it was quite surprising for me, but you are not the first person noticing the similarity to Dolores.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. So how did Waterville come about? What brought you together as a band?
As I said, I met Jacinta, and I was doing a lot of stuff at that time, but I was kind of let's say tired of bands. I didn't want to start. I was after a split up of my previous band, and I had a hard time because of that. And I met her, and I tried to encourage her to start a solo career, to start solo recording, and I wanted to help her to produce, to write some songs with her, and I really encouraged at the beginning, but she said no. And then I asked my friend who plays the guitar, whom I know from my previous projects, if he wanted to come and play. And at the beginning we were a 3-piece band, but it wasn't enough, and because she has some classical education, like music school education, and she plays violin, I encouraged her to play the bass, which she struggled at the beginning, but I think she's all right now. And also she was very ambitious, and she took the bass and started to play immediately. Like at the time she took bass for the first time, she already started playing.
Yeah.
And soon we, it just happened naturally. We just, first it was me and her, and then my friend Marcin came, and it was, we weren't really thinking about what to do next.
Okay.
We didn't have a plan. I was thinking about Dreampop at the time. We were listening a lot to a band, Dota.
Yeah.
And that was maybe our inspiration. And then it was more like Warpaint. I know that you're a big Warpaint.
I'm a big fan of Warpaint.
Yeah, me too. So that was our inspiration. But I also listened a lot to Radiohead and Portishead and Sigur Rós, let's say.
Yeah.
These are my favorite bands. But what we do with Waterville is completely different story. Because I also play the guitar, and I'm not really, I know you introduced me as a drummer, but it was like switching from guitar to drums, because I played some drums before when I produced my own songs. So it wasn't like new instrument for me completely, but I switched to drums only because of there are no many people playing this kind of music in our area. So simply you can say that Waterville was made of nothing, like, because no one played actual instrument. I mean, I played the guitar, not the drums. Jacinta didn't play bass because we didn't have the bass player. And then we met Pavel, who joined us, and they played keys, synthesizers, and bass with Jacinta in turns. So no, but even now I can tell you that we have a lot of changes, and probably there will be some changes in the lineup. But I don't want to say anything more. We'll see.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely fine.
So, there's no much, let's say, we just don't think too much. We just play and make some music.
You let the sort of you sort of let the creative process happen as naturally, I guess, and I mean, it feels like with this EP, it's kind of got it feels like a pretty natural product. I mean, I guess I'm just trying to work out what I'm trying to, what's made me say that, but everything comes together pretty naturally for me when I'm listening to the EP, and it's got a nice flow to it. And yeah, I've kind of really enjoyed, as I say, listening to this one. And I guess you maybe touched a bit on that. I was going to ask, what can you see another album coming out in the future for Waterville, or is it too early to tell yet what that might be, or what sort of album that might be?
Well, we recorded a lot, and we knew from the beginning that EP is going to be mostly songs which we wrote long time ago, like around 2 years ago. I think Breathing is the newest song, but the rest of them were already 2 years old, let's say. But we have those pandemic times and so on and so on. So we just wanted to finish that, let's say, stage of of our lives and our Waterville, time. And at the same time, we started to write and rehearse a lot of new songs, and they are quite different. I can tell you that they are quite different. I would say, more ambitious, and I didn't expect us to come this way. But what can I say? As I said, we are going to have some changes in the lineup, and I can tell you that some of the songs are already recorded, maybe not finished, because as I told you at the beginning, when we set up a session, a special drum session, we try to record even new songs that are still in the process. But those 5 songs on the Isle of Blue EP, it was like a closed topic for us. Like, we knew that we want to put them on that EP and then take care of the new album. So it's hard to say. Probably it's not on its way yet. Now we are having a break, simply, and those songs are somewhere, and maybe we'll go back to it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll be looking out for anything that I see maybe coming out from Waterville in the future. Okay, well, just another thing on Isle of Blue then. I mean, now that the Isle of Blue, I mean, it's been a few months for it to kind of settle into people's minds, and maybe your fans' minds as well. How has the reaction been for you? Have you been pleased with the reaction that the EP's had?
You mean reaction? How is it received by people? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. We heard some nice reviews.
Yeah.
What's interesting for me especially, because I'm interested in music industry for a very long time, is that we are from Poland and it was released in UK. That means a lot to me, really, because it's like I waited for this like for all of my life.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Because usually bands that are released in Poland are not released in foreign countries. nowadays we have the internet, but still it's not this way. That if you release a song in Poland, then the rest of the world is going to hear it. It doesn't work this way, we know. But Nico made this wonderful job. And I remember that was like something I told Jacinta, and she is much younger than me at the beginning, that if she wants to start a band, not a solo career, I had some experiences, good and bad experiences from previous bands. So I told her that you will take care of promotion. And she said, okay, because I had enough of this, and for me, it's sometimes it's easy to start a band, but I was really tired of all this marketing promo emails and stuff like this. I don't like it. I don't like it anymore. I don't do it. So if you ask me about the reception, I think it's nice to get all of these reviews and feedback from all of the world. And what interesting for me, we have much more feedback from the rest of the world, than from Poland. Really, and it's super nice for me, because it shows me where I am musically and career-wise, because I was really into music production, let's say like American, British music production. Not there are a lot of interesting stuff in Poland, but it's not like we have shoegaze and dreampop bands everywhere. Like it's mostly nowadays. It's not like nowadays in Poland, let's say non-mainstream music doesn't exist almost.
Okay,
it's really changed.
I mean, I find it quite sort of in the UK at the moment. I mean, I'm discovering bands now, but it's not something that's shoegaze and dream pop style stuff, or even rock is not really in the mainstream, I guess, anymore. So
yeah, but still, when you look up the lineups of the festival, still you have a lot of bands like
you do,
rock bands. It exists. I think about it a lot, but probably it's a completely different story, different topic, a different topic, or different conversation. But like really, times are very, very different from when I started. And what is happening now, it's interesting for me about Waterville. These little labels, those independent labels like Short Dive Records.
Short Dive, Brighton.
Yeah, it's super nice, but it showed me that in Poland we, almost have no reviews and no anything, and I stopped caring about it anymore.
Yeah,
I just don't care. We have on our Facebook almost every day after we release it, we have some notification that someone mentioned this. So it's 99% of the time.
Nice.
Yeah,
it must be nice to get like someone say that.
Super nice, but we don't think about it too much. It's maybe I'm too old for being too excited about it. But it's super interesting, and super interesting for me that it happened after maybe I made music for maybe 15 years. Yeah, so it's super nice.
Brilliant. Yeah, as I say, I've been enjoying it. So thank you from me for the Waterville EP Isle of Blue, which I will drop a link to in the description box for people that come and watch the video, so you can see, and you can click on the link and go and download the Isle of Blue EP. Is it on CD or vinyl as well? Sorry, I didn't check that
Vinyl,
out.
no. I think it's on CD in Short Dive Records.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, well, thank you very much, Bartosz, for giving me a window of time. I really appreciate you coming on the channel. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, everybody. And for me, the Green Man, until our next Shoegaze Files episode, take care, everybody. Bye for now.